Chapter 12, The Disappearing Device. I was kind of shocked. A girl calling me at home? That had never happened before. "Oh, hi," I replied. I thought my voice sounded a little shaky, like I was scared or something. "I forgot our math assignment," said Zoe. Do you remember what it was?" Zoe always writes down math assignments in her little blue assignment book. I watch her do it every day, so I knew right away she had something else in her mind. In fact, I was pretty sure she was just using homework as an excuse to call me up. I took a deep breath and counted to 3 before I spoke. "There is no math homework, remember?" I said. There was a long silence. I really liked the idea that Zoe had called me up, but I also couldn't stop thinking about what might be going on in my bedroom. Suddenly, Zoe said something totally unexpected. You wouldn't be interested in going to a movie with me this afternoon, would you? The Mummy's Curse is playing." She sure sounded nervous. I would be too if I were the one doing the asking. Actually, I'd thought about going to a movie with Zoe lots of times, but I'd never got up the nerve to ask. I didn't know what to say. I'd heard that The Mummy's Curse had a terrific story with lots of cool special effects. In the end, the mummy eats itself. I really wanted to see it. And Zoe Breen was just the person I wanted to see it with. Heck, I'd even watch Thursday Night Wrestling with Zoe. But going to the movie with a girl? I wasn't ready for this. What if someone from school saw us? They'd say I have a girlfriend. I didn't think I could stand all the teasing. I was fishing around for what to say when I heard some strange noises coming from my room. "Actually, I saw The Mummy's Curse. It was great," I lied. "Oops, my mom is calling me. Got to go now. Bye." I lied again and hung up. "You idiot," I thought as I flew up the stairs to my room. "That was your last chance on earth to go to the movies with Zoe Breen, and you blew it. Are you a loser or what?" As soon as I opened my bedroom door, I forgot all about Zoe and the Mummy's Curse. I had a curse of my own to deal with. The curse of the rotten little brother. Standing before me, filling up my entire bedroom, sitting on the floor, on my chairs, on my bed, and at my desk were dozens of Jonathans. My brother, curse his evil little soul, had somehow disposed of the other me and duplicated himself about 50 times. "Hi!" I was greeted by a chorus of high-pitched, whiny voices. "Where's the other me?" I cried. "Oh, we made him disappear," said 6 or 7 Jonathans as they pointed to the cardboard device on my desk. The disappearing device. "You what?" I said. "We disappeared him," said another bunch of Jonathans. "That's what we built, a disappearing device." Jonathan's device looked more like an art project than a scientific invention, but who was I to be fussy about appearances? I have to admit, I felt a twinge of brotherly pride. He must have got some of my genius genes after all, I thought. No matter what it looked like, Jonathan's invention was brilliant. Meanwhile, the room was crawling with Jonathans. 5 or 6 Jonathans were looking through my stamp collection. A few were going through my drawers, trying on clothes that didn't fit. Just as many more were staging mock air battles with my jet plane models. "Bam, bam, bam, gotcha!" A bunch of Jonathans were jumping on my bed. "Now we can do whatever we want to," they chanted as they bounced up and down. "Okay," I put my hands on my hips. "Who's the real Jonathan here?" Suddenly, the room became quiet. I looked from face to face. They all stared back at me with big-eyed, innocent looks. Then all 50 or so Jonathans responded, "I am." I felt like bolting from the room, locking the door, and calling the police. Then I reminded myself, it's just your little brother. You can handle him, right? I walked up to one of the Jonathans and grabbed him by the arm. Suddenly, all the other Jonathans gave me a "don't you dare" look and pressed forward. I stopped and looked around. It was the worst nightmare imaginable. I was surrounded by an army of rotten little brothers, and there was nothing I could do about it. Suddenly, it felt like I was the little brother. I released the Jonathan I was holding and straightened out the wrinkles on his shirt. Immediately, a big grin lit up all the Jonathans' faces. They knew they had me. I was at their mercy, and they liked it. They liked it a lot. Then I had an idea. "You know, you're very clever," I said, and edged closer to the disappearing device. Some of the Jonathans saw what I had in mind. Before I could get near, they closed ranks and made a wall of Jonathans around the device. I had hoped to use it to get rid of the mob of little brothers. Now I had to think really fast. I made a dash to my duplicator. I turned up the quantity dial to 10, jumped inside, and flipped the copy switch. Ramzat! It worked like a charm. The duplicator made not just one additional Alex, but 10. Now there were 11 of me in the room. Before any of the Jonathans could retaliate, I flipped the copy switch again. Now there were 21 of me, enough to overpower the Jonathans protecting the disappearing device and take it away from them. Or so I hoped. Get them, cried the Jonathans all around me. As they leaped into action, my bedroom burst into a churning battle of wrestling brothers. When one of the Jonathans threw some pillows into the duplicator, the battle quickly turned into a gigantic pillow fight. Feathers were flying everywhere. In no time at all, it looked like a snow blizzard had hit my room. There were more Jonathans than Alexes, but we were bigger and stronger. The Jonathans had captured my duplicator and were making more copies of themselves. But I had already turned the quantity dial back to 1 and removed the dial, so now all they could make was one Jonathan at a time. Then our side got control of the disappearing device. Cover him, called one of the other me's in the room. I soon found myself surrounded by an army of bodyguards. For every Jonathan the other side duplicated, I made 3 or 4 disappear. The first 10 or so were easy to zap because the room was jumping with Jonathans. I hardly had to aim. All I had to do was point, shoot, and poof, they were gone. But I had to be careful. Once I missed, and a whole stack of books on my floor disappeared. Again and again, groups of 5 or 6 Jonathans rushed me for the disappearing device. That's ours, they cried. Give it back. Luckily, my bodyguards protected me, and the enemy never got close. After a while, the crowd of Jonathans thinned out, and it was a little harder zapping my targets. When I got down to the last batch of Jonathans, they started hiding and begging for mercy. Some slid under my bed. Others ran to the closet. I locked my door and dropped the key into my pocket so none could escape. No, don't zap me, they all pleaded at the last moment. I'm the real Jonathan. You don't want to disappear your own little brother, do you? You bet I do, I said, and zapped them just the same. As far as I was concerned, they were all exact duplicates. So there was no such thing as the real Jonathan. That's for talking all the time, I cried. Poof! And that's for the way you eat. Poof! And that's for boiling my tropical fish. Poof! And that's for the honey puffs. Poof! Hey, wait a minute, cried a few Jonathans. We never boiled your fish. Maybe not, I hollered, but you were glad when they died, weren't you? Poof, poof, poof. Finally, I got down to one last little brother. I backed him into a corner and pushed the disappearing device in his face. You did kill my fish, didn't you? I said. Tell the truth. Yeah, I did, he confessed in a whimper. A single tear streamed down his left cheek and fell into the corner of his mouth. But I didn't mean to, and I wasn't glad when they died. I just wanted to see what would happen if I turned up the heat. When I turned up the heat, I wanted to see if they would swim faster. My poor little fish, I thought. At least they died in the quest for scientific truth. I could hardly fault Jonathan for that. Just then, Mom started pounding on the door. What's going on in there? She cried and tried the doorknob. Open this door at once. What are we going to do? Said one of my duplicates. We? I replied. His expression turned sour. You have to get rid of us, don't you? That's right, I said, and started zapping all the other Alexes in the room. Luckily, they all knew it had to be done and went willingly. When there were 5 or 6 left, Jonathan asked, Can I finish off the rest? I don't know why, but I said, okay, and handed him the disappearing device. But you have to give it back when you're done. No funny business. No funny business, he replied. Poof, poof, poof. When there was just me and Jonathan left, I fished the key out of my pocket and unlocked the door. Mom looked into the room and didn't say a word, but I could see her lips move as she counted to 10. I want you to know I'm feeling a lot of anger right now, she began calmly, but pretty soon she was screaming. This place looks like it got hit by a bomb. What is wrong with you two? I was doing you a favor, Mom, I said. Remember? She looked around the room. You call this a favor? What were you two fighting about this time? Oh, we weren't fighting, I said, and carefully put the disappearing device on my top shelf, just out of Jonathan's reach. We were playing. Mom seemed to like that answer. So did Jonathan. Yeah, we were just playing, he said, with a big grin.